Bienvenidos al Medical Spanish Podcast. Soy la doctora Molly Martin. Through this podcast, we provide interactive audio lessons for learning practical Spanish for healthcare and elsewhere. The level of this lesson is intermediate, and timestamps are provided in the show notes. Hola a todos! Over at DocMolly.com, we just completed the 5th and final member lesson, Mastering the Vocabulary, Phrases, and Grammar from the clinical dialogue Car Accident in Spanish, where an EMT responds at the scene of a car accident. You heard a portion of that dialogue in our last free lesson. There's a link in your show notes. And in today's episode of the Medical Spanish Podcast, we will review questions an ER provider would ask of EMS when they arrive to the ER with a patient who has been involved in a car accident. This lesson is based on a list of questions and phrases put together by one of our members, an ER provider named Lila Powers. Muchas gracias a Lila. Y gracias a Gloria Becerril, my Spanish teacher from Mexico, who helped me translate and record all the phrases and questions you'll hear in this lesson. Espero que te guste y que aprendas algo nuevo. Empecemos. In this lesson, we will cover questions for the EMS who responded at the scene of the car accident. Preguntas para los servicios médicos de emergencia. Por ejemplo, esas son preguntas que les haríamos a los técnicos de emergencias médicas o a los paramédicos. So how did I just say emergency medical technicians or EMTs? Los técnicos de emergencias médicas. And if referring to a woman, you could say la técnica de emergencias médicas. And how did I refer to paramedics? Los paramédicos. And how would you refer to a woman paramedic? La paramédica. Finally, how do you think you would say motor vehicle accident in Spanish? Accidente automovilístico o accidente de tráfico. Vamos a revisar las preguntas. First, we'll review the vocabulary, and then we'll interpret the questions. Vehicle. El vehículo. To involve. Implicar. Another option is involucrar. Accident. El accidente. How many vehicles were involved in the accident?
¿Cuántos vehículos estuvieron implicados en el accidente?
Note how we use a estar here to express the result of what occurred.
¿Cuántos vehículos estuvieron implicados en el accidente?
Interprétalo otra vez. How many vehicles were involved in the accident?
¿Cuántos vehículos estuvieron implicados en el accidente?
How did the accident occur?
¿Cómo ocurrió el accidente?
Repasemos más vocabulario. Collision or crash. El choque. Head-on collision. El choque frontal. Hit or blow. El golpe. Was it a head-on collision?
¿Fue un choque frontal?
Using choque, interpreta which part of the vehicle was hit.
¿Qué parte del vehículo recibió el choque?
Note how Gloria chose to use the verb recibir when referring to where something was hit.
¿Qué parte del vehículo recibió el choque?
Now using golpe, interprétalo otra vez. Which part of the vehicle was hit?
¿Qué parte del vehículo recibió el golpe?
And in the ER, you may also use recibir de esta manera when speaking of stab and gunshot wounds. Por ejemplo, él recibió una puñalada en el abdomen. O ella recibió un disparo en el hombro. Ahora te toca a ti. How did I say? He was stabbed in the abdomen. Recibió una puñalada en el abdomen. She was shot in the shoulder. Recibió un disparo en el hombro. Speaking of a vehicle, to overturn, to roll. Volcarse, to go off the road. Salirse de la carretera. So note how we use the pronominal verb salirse here and how carretera can refer to a road or highway. To go off the road. Salirse de la carretera. To expel or to eject. Expulsar. Did the vehicle roll?
¿El vehículo se volcó?
Interprétalo otra vez. Did the vehicle roll?
¿El vehículo se volcó?
Did the vehicle go off the road?
¿El vehículo se salió de la carretera?
Was the vehicle pushed off the road?
¿El vehículo fue expulsado de la carretera?
Interprétalo otra vez. Was the vehicle pushed off the road?
¿El vehículo fue expulsado de la carretera?
Now let's ask how the patient was removed from the car. ¿Cómo se sacó al paciente del carro? Primero repasemos el vocabulario. Now, if you want to keep going and listen to the rest of this lesson and all the lessons in our Spanish for Emergencies course, sign up for the course, or better yet, become a premium Medical Spanish member with access to all our Medical Spanish lessons. A lot of time and money goes into each and every lesson we publish. And since I do not have ads on this podcast, I could not do it without the support of our members. You also support us when you leave us a positive review. I read and appreciate every single review we receive. Gracias de todo corazón. I hope you found this quick lesson useful. Now you can click on the link in your show notes to take the quiz and download the PDF for this lesson. This link updates every time a new free lesson is published. So in order to take the quiz and download the PDF for this lesson, you must click on this link before the next episode of the Medical Spanish Podcast. Y antes de despedirme, me gustaría dar las gracias a Laila Powers, que trabaja en urgencias y aportó sugerencias para esta lección, y a Gloria Becerril, una de mis profesores de México, que me ayudó con el español de esta lección. If you would like to take classes with Gloria, I will leave her contact information in the show notes. Hasta pronto! This is a production of DocMolly.com, where we learn practical Spanish for healthcare and elsewhere.